Welcome back, babes. I was wrong about Bitcoin yesterday as we saw over 900 million liquidations occur yesterday, and we're getting a little bit bearish here. However, on today's show, we're going to talk about the possibility of Bitcoin still hitting $70,000 first week of November, and I've got some alpha for you on some coins that have recently pumped, one of which we talked about on the show last week. Let's get into it. Of course, we're going to talk about Bitcoin and the mass amount of liquidations that occurred yesterday. According to CryptoPotato, over 900 million liquidated today as market cap loses $150 billion. Oh my goodness, that hurts. Ouch. Honestly, a lot of people were long and they were long and top, so it does make a little bit of sense. Down over here at this point, in the last day alone, around 924 million worth of positions were liquidated. 88% of them were long. Taking a look at bybit.com, BYBT, you can check all of the liquidation amounts here, and it'll give it to you by different exchange platforms. So we have the site liquidation longs versus shorts, and oh my goodness, this looks gnarly. Anytime Bitcoin dumps, it generally impacts altcoins. However, there's a few different altcoins that did not dump. We're going to talk about 1inch and Shiba Inu, but before we do that, let's go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin and see where we could potentially end up, because the first week of November is like next week. This is our Bitcoin chart here, and I totally thought that we were going to stay above around $60,000, consolidate to about 67, and then break out on around November 7th. Or possibly November 5th. However, it looks like that is not happening. We have the EMA 9 with an ugly downward tick. We're currently balancing on the EMA 21. If we pull up market cipher, it's not looking the best right now on the daily. Even taking a look at the 12-hour does look like once the yellow VWAP wants to run up a little bit, but it's not looking that great. And we are experiencing a little bit of a bounce here, but we have to do more than just bounce. We need to start getting back above these areas here. So right now with Bitcoin, if we redraw the trend line, which yes, you can continue to keep redrawing trend lines as much as you want, we'd really need to hold this area on the 12-hour chart. And going back to the daily chart, that's lined perfectly with the EMA 21. So overall for me, I'm just going to kind of take a step back. I'm going to watch what's going to happen to the market. And I'm also going to potentially take a look at some altcoins that I may want to go ahead and buy some dips on. But again, you guys, until we hold support here at the EMA 21 and we start making some nice upward action, I might have to retract my statement of Bitcoin breaking all-time high beginning of November. All right, now we're going to talk about some altcoins that are doing amazing. One of them was 1inch as we moved upward from about $3.90 to $6.69. This was a beautiful pump that happened, and we talked about 1inch on the show last week. One of the cool things about 1inch is you're allowed to trade on a lot of different chains over on their platform, which makes it a lot better than Uniswap. And I'm here for that. It makes my life easier to be able to do that. It's just too much to have to go to all of these different decentralized exchanges, and plus too, it can be an OPSEC risk. But anyways, as far as 1inch goes, we have a lot of volatility in the market. We should be a little bit weary, but I went ahead and drew this adorable trend line for you. And just as long as we stay on this uptrend over here, we should be fine. As far as long-term price predictions for 1inch, I do have a bag, full disclosure. I do think that we could potentially hit about $15 if the markets continue to stay bullish. And I'm starting to think that we should continue to stay bullish, because we're going to take a look at this next news story here, which talks about comparison from 2017 to 2021. This story here is from Cointelegraph. Bitcoin price dip matches October 2017 with Bitcoin explosion still forecast before 2021. So basically, this article here is talking about the price similarities, and it shows a cute chart from 2017 and 2021. I'm 100% for fractal-based technical analysis. I think it's valid. I think it works. And essentially, technical analysis and trading is really math-backed. It's about numbers. It's about math. Some people even like to use the moon. Whatever works for you, just as long as you are making money. So I do think that we will eventually smash $100,000. I'm just not sure that it will happen overnight or before the year is over with. However, could still happen. So make sure you plan accordingly for both scenarios. And let's also take a look at Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu has been going off like crazy. And again, I'm very happy for everyone who has made money with Shiba Inu. I have a very, very small bag. I tossed a couple $100 in just to kind of see what happened. And I'm actually up over 50%, which is amazing. However, we're starting to look a little bit overbought on the chart. Will Shiba Inu hit $1? I don't think so. Not this year, not next year, maybe not in the next 5 years. The market cap would really have to pump like crazy. Could it hit 1 penny? Not really looking likely. We still have a lot of work to do. And in order for us to hit 1 penny, we really need to pump like crazy. That's neither here nor there. Only thing I ask of you guys, if you're investing in meme coins, just remember to take profit and make a moon bag. A very popular tactic you can use is sell half on a double. That just means selling half of your stack when it doubles in price and letting the rest ride out, or continuing to take profits on the way up. Do whatever works for you. I do not buy pumps like this. To me, this is not sustainable. I don't like it. And the last time we had a massive pump with Shiba Inu back in May of 2021, May 10th, we had a really gnarly correction. But just because that happened back in 2021 in May, doesn't mean that that's going to happen again, because the market is a little bit different. I don't think Bitcoin is going to completely dump like crazy. We could experience some volatility. Either way, if you got in Shiba Inu down in this area here, congratulations. And as far as price prediction for Shiba Inu goes, if we continue to keep climbing, I see no issue why we can't hit 0.00013. I hope I got all of those zeros correctly. And again, you guys be very careful with this one. Have fun, but at the same time, do practice good risk management. Now, let's talk a little bit about a crypto exchange that's making some amazing movements. This next article is from CoinDesk, and I'm so happy to hear this from FTX US. So FTX US crypto exchange finalizes Ledger X acquisition, and it will now operate as FTX US derivatives. Before we move any further, let's talk about what a financial derivative is. I know most of you guys know what regular derivatives are in calculus, because we had to do those 9 million times, but let's go ahead and take a look at what an actual derivative is when we're talking about financial products. So a key takeaway here about derivatives, and again, this information is for free on Investopedia. Investopedia is your best friend. Derivatives are financial contracts set between two or more parties that derive their value from an underlying asset, group of assets, or benchmarks. A derivative can trade on an exchange or over the counter. And prices for derivatives derive from fluctuations in the underlying asset, and derivatives are usually leveraged instruments, which decreases potential risk and rewards. Leverage is when essentially you're multiplying your position by adding 2 or 3 times leverage. We've talked about that in other videos. If you guys need tips with that or help with that, let me know in the comments down below and I'll make a video for you. And common derivatives include futures contracts, forwards, options, and swaps. This is key here. Let's go back to the article. So when we talked about FTX US, I want to say about a couple weeks ago, we were laughing because they raised about $420 million from 69 investors. Yes, that is a meme. Yes, it is hilarious and it's funny. But at the same time, they're actually using this money to further themselves and it kind of help us. So there's some key pieces to this short article that we need to cover, and I'm going to read them to you and explain why. The deal gives FTX US a slew of licenses granted to Ledger X by the US Commodity Futures Trading Commission. As such, the exchange can move to offer crypto futures, swaps, and options to US retail traders. What I think FTX bought Ledger X was because Ledger X was already established. They did all of the groundwork. They did all the heavy lifting. So it is a lot easier for FTX US just to go ahead and acquire them than to do a lot of this themselves, because it's going to make their journey easier. Lastly, the last key piece here. We believe the integration of the two organizations provide us with not only a technological advance, but also futures. Our working relationship with the regulatory committee in a positive, constructive, and transparent manner, said Brett Harrison in a statement. Brett was on the show last week. Again, they did this is because they understand they're going to have guidelines, regulatory guidelines they have to follow. And purchasing or acquiring a company like Ledger X is going to help them better their position because everything is going to be done correctly. Either way, babes, this is a massive win for the crypto community. I know we don't like regulations, but at the same time, we got to play 3D chess. We got to play hardball. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Fingers crossed the market starts to do a little bit better and we can all start making money again. Bye-bye.